Hello everyone and welcome to the Backend Masterclass. In this lecture, we will learn how to create a production database with AWS RDS. RDS is a managed relational database service on AWS. It supports several kinds of relational database, and it is automatically deployed and managed by Amazon Web Service. So we don't have to care much about how to maintain or scale the DB cluster. It is also super easy to set up. Let's click this button to create a new database. There are two creation methods, standard create and easy create. Easy create will use some recommended best practice configuration for your DB, while standard create lets you customize all configuration options. I'm going to use this method for this demo. Now we have to choose the DB engine type. As you can see, there are 6 different types of engine. I'm going to select Postgres for Simple Bank project. For the version, let's select 12.6 because we are using Postgres 12 for development. Next, let's choose a config template. It can be production, dev test, or free tier. For the demo purpose, I'm going to use free tier. Next, we have to enter the name for our DB instance. Let's call it Simple Bank. For the master username, I'm going to use root, just like what we are using for development. Then for password, I will check this box to let RDS auto-generate a random one for me. Next, the DB instance class. As we selected the free tier template, there's only one type of instance available, DB-T2 Micro. If you select production or dev test template, then there will be many other bigger instance types to choose. Now for the storage, we will have 20 GB of free SSD storage. And there's also an option to enable auto-scaling, which will allow the storage to increase once the specified threshold is exceeded. We don't need it for our demo application, so I'm going to disable this feature. For production usage, you will also have the option to set up multi-availability zone or standby instance in a different zone to provide data redundancy and minimize latency. But as we are using free tier, this option is not available. So let's move on. Here in this connectivity section, we will specify how we want our DB to be accessed. By default, the DB will be deployed inside the default virtual private cloud or VPC. We will learn more about VPC in another lecture. For now, let's just use this default one. DB subnet group is a way to specify the subnet and IP range the DB instance can use in the VPC. Let's leave it as default for now. Now comes one important setting. Do you want your DB to be publicly accessible or not? If you choose yes, then all the EC2 instances and devices outside of the VPC can connect to your DB. But we will have to set up a security group to allow that. If you choose no, then RDS will not assign a public IP address to the DB. Thus, only EC2 instances and devices inside the same VPC can connect to it. For this lecture, I want to access the DB from my local computer, so I'm going to choose yes. This will ensure that the DB will have a public IP address. But to really have access to it from outside, we must set up a proper security group. There's already a default security group, but it doesn't give access to the DB's port from anywhere. So I'm going to create a new one. Let's call it Access Postgres Anywhere. Next, the availability zone. You can choose one of these zones or just leave it as no preference. Now some additional configurations. We can optionally set a different port for the DB or just leave it as default port 5432. For database authentication, we're going to use password authentication, so nothing to be changed here. Next, we have the option to create an initial database. If you don't specify a name here, Amazon RDS will not create a database for you. I wanted to create the Simple Bank database for me, so I write its name in this box. No need to touch the DB parameter group. You can also enable automatic backup for your DB or set up some monitoring and logging configurations. Check this box if you want to enable auto minor version upgrade, and select the DB maintenance window time if you want. If it is a production DB, you might also want to enable deletion protection. It will help protect the DB from being deleted accidentally. At the end of the form, we will see the estimated monthly cost of our DB instance. As we are using free tier, there are 750 hours of free usage, with 20 GB of general purpose storage, as well as 20 GB for automated backup storage and user-initiated snapshot. If you are using more than these thresholds, a standard service rate will be applied. You can read more about its pricing in this link. Okay, now let's click Create Database. As you can see, the database is now being created. It will take a few minutes to be completely ready. While waiting for it, let's click this button to see the credentials to access the DB. As I asked RDS to auto-generate a random password for me before, here in this pop-up window, we can see and copy its master password. Now I'm going to open Table Plus and create a new connection to access our remote DB. For the connection name, let's call it AWS Postgres. We don't have the host URL yet, so let's leave it empty for now. The username should be root, and let's paste in the password. The database name is SimpleBank, and that's it. Now we just need to wait for the DB to be created and get its host URL. Let's go back to the AWS console, close this pop-up window, and refresh the page. It's still not ready yet. But here in the networking table, we can see that our DB is in the EU West 1B zone. It's using the default VPC and subnet group. One thing we must do now is to check the security group, Access Postgres Anywhere, that we've specified in the DB creation process. If we follow the link of this security group, we can see that it has one inbound rule of type PostgreSQL, the protocol is TCP, and the port is 5432. This source IP is actually my current IP address. I can quickly check that by searching for my IP in the browser. Okay, so basically, this rule only allows my IP address to access the DB at port 5432. But my IP is not static, and I don't want to have to update this rule every time my IP changes, so I will change the source to anywhere. This will make sure that all IPs can access the database. Of course, if it is a production DB, you wouldn't want to expose it to the whole internet. Alright, let's save the rule. And go back to the RDS database page. Okay, now the database has been successfully created. Let's check its connection details. This time, we have the endpoint to access it. So let's copy this URL and paste it to the host of our new connection in Table Plus. Then click Test. All boxes are green. It means the connection is good. So let's click Connect. And voila, we're now connected to the database. However, at the moment, it is completely empty. That's because we haven't run DB migration to create the tables yet. So let's do that now. In our SimpleBank project's repository, let's open the Makefile. There's a migrate app command that we are using to migrate DB locally. All we have to do now is to change this URL to the remote DB's URL. The username is still root, but the password is different. So let's copy it from the AWS console and paste it here. The local host should also be changed to the remote host that AWS RDS gives us in the console. The port and DB name are the same, so we don't have to change them. But we should remove the SSL mode disable parameter because we are connecting to a remote DB, so it's better to use a secured connection. Okay, I think that will work. Let's save the file, then open the terminal and run make migrate app. All successful. So let's open Table Plus to check the DB. I'm gonna refresh it. As you can see, all the tables are successfully created. Awesome. So now you know how to set up a managed database instance using AWS RDS. I hope you find it useful. Thanks a lot for watching. Happy learning and see you in the next lecture.